Thanks so much for inviting me to the MR300 Impact Talks. Let's be short, let's be direct, let's be concrete. We have been so much impacted by Cartesian thinking. That means that we only focus on one problem at a time and we find one solution at a time. This is what we call linear thinking. I believe that the greatest problem we're facing when we're having climate change, poverty, and the incapacity to meet basic needs of everyone. The basic problem is that we don't see the whole, we don't see the connections, we don't see life as an ecosystem. As long as we do not have a multidisciplinary approach, an approach that allows us to see the interconnections between health and energy, water and food, food and jobs, if we don't see how everything is related, how the web of life has been created and continues to evolve, we will be in a total incapacity to respond to the transformation that is required. We have a problem. We have many problems, but time has arrived to stop talking about the problems. It is time to focus on the solutions. And when our analysis of the problems is focused on one at a time and our solutions are only one at a time, we are never going to get to any real transition. We need the multidisciplinary approach, which I call looking at the web of life. And therefore, we need to have people who are not only the entrepreneurs, or the scientists, or the policymakers, or the public at large, or the activists. We need all together in a web of life. And this web of life requires us to look at initiatives and actions whereby we see that not only everything is related, but the impact will have a multiplier effect. If you're only looking at cause and effect, you can very clearly calculate the impact of the causes, the impact of the effects you want to achieve, because you control the environment. But hard reality is that we do not control the environment, and therefore we have to simulate in a system how everything will have feedback loops. And when you have feedback loops, you will have multiple effects that you could not foresee, but you can simulate them. And therefore, the MR300 is an initiative that allows us to pull together and the policymaking and the science and the entrepreneurship and the action on the ground, because we do not need further discussions about philosophy. We need to have a focus on how to pass from talking to acting. And that acting needs to be an integrated, multidisciplinary, multifaceted action. Those initiatives can be concentrated on a very focal point. And a ship is probably one of the best utensils that we have. Yes, I call it a utensil, because you can simulate on a ship everything that you can have on an island. And an island is everything that you can simulate having on a piece of land. And a land you can imagine on the Earth. We have been calling our Earth Spaceship Earth. So the only way to move forward now is to get into action, to pass from a proof of concept to a proof of operation. And then we have to have the willingness and the capacity to roll it out and cover the world with this transition that will only be happening if we consider this the web of life. And our role is not to change life. Our role is to put nature back on its evolutionary path and ensure that when she is back on her evolutionary path, we will be in the capacity to play our modest role by creating the tensions and by creating the small triggers so that the whole system will move towards health and happiness. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Martin Yates. I'm a smart cities architect and technology futurist working for Dell Technologies based here in Singapore. It's also my pleasure to be a team member of the supporting advisors for the Earth 300 project. I would like to take the next few minutes to cover the immense impact of hyper-accelerating technologies in our time and what that means to us all on that sustainability journey that we all need to take. We are rapidly rushing forward to a connected, intelligent world. 5G technologies are being deployed as we speak, while 6G is already now firmly in the planning of many. Along with artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, the neural network developments of the world are truly taking us to new levels of an unprecedented change. All of the physical aspects of our world reality are becoming instrumented, connected, and digitalized, which will have a profound impact on the future. These technologies and how they're being blended in synchronous harmony are becoming the big game changers, creating a modern inflection point of our time. There are no U-turns here or ways back as humanity leaps into the next evolution of its destiny. And this is all powered by global knowledge derived from an exponential growth in data. But first, what do we really mean by exponential growth in data? The telecoms industry is a good case in point. For example, in 2007, the entire cellular network of the United States just consisted of 86 petabytes of data. But today, 86 petabytes move across the cellular network in just 18 hours. And in just 10 years from now, 86 petabytes will move across the cellular network in just 10 minutes. As we see, the human milestones of history will be built from capturing, processing, analyzing this data to deliver a vast diversity of universal outcomes for all. For pioneering projects such as Earth 300, this will be a new genesis of exploration in the making. The knowledge this vessel will acquire in exploration over all of its multidisciplinary functions overshadows all that came before it. On Earth 300, thousands of onboard IoT sensors that make up this living, breathing, and learning fabric shall feed the most powerful computers of our time, including the latest quantum computers, in particular transforming the vast reserves of data collected and processed into timely, actionable solutions, supporting our planetary ecosystem. Now is the time to architect and craft a catalyst for change beyond the imagination of many, to excel and push the boundaries of our understanding in a world full of uncertainties. It's time to take back our strength and rise up to protect the only planet that we have that we call home. Thank you very much and have a great day ahead.
Hello, my name is Judith Cunningham, and I am the founder of Youth for a Better World. We are an NGO in special consultative status with the United Nations ECOSOC. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the forgotten citizens, those young people across the world under 18, whose dreams of the future we are destroying. My message at this Earth 300 Impact Talks is that youth engagement is critical to address the climate crisis and create sustainability. We see the impact this Greta generation has had and how they inspire and activate adults to confront the climate crisis. Youth know they are the real stakeholders of the future, and that to protect that future, they must participate at the present. We just held the first International Youth Climate Summit this past week. This virtual gathering came at a pivotal moment of record number of storms, hottest temperatures on record, and severe droughts. Students gathered online from Africa, Europe, United States, Canada, Mexico, China, and the Philippines. Some as young as 12 came to the summit with open minds and hearts to learn and to take action to help combat the climate crisis. Our mission was to share the science and facts about global warming, to help the students understand the impact of climate change, to learn solutions already in place, and for most importantly, to understand how climate awareness and activism is being led by youth. And then, of course, to provide the tools for them to be a valuable part of this movement. Understanding the science and the facts provided a critical foundation, but equally important was for the participants to share their thoughts and feelings about the climate crisis. They shared in small discussion groups their hopes, their dreams, and their fears. And after they felt a sense of efficacy, that they were now empowered to make change. The summit concluded with a call to action. Students are creating individual video pledges that will be joined into a video youth mandate to be shared with the United Nations prior to COP26, so that world leaders can hear the voice of students committed to making a difference in their communities. That's my message for this Earth 300 Impacts talk, that youth must have a seat at the table. They are the real stakeholders of the future, and to protect that future, they must participate now. See you on the 17th.
My name is Michele Sofisti. I'm a former geologist who has spent the majority of his professional life as a CEO in the luxury brands sector. Thanks to that, I got the possibility to work in a very multidisciplinary world. Grammy Awards for Music, Los Angeles Movie Oscar and Cinecittà, 4 Olympics, fashion industry. That's why I'm a true believer of the positive impact that a multidisciplinary approach can bring to environmental issues and business. I've always been passionate about the nature and a lover of nature. Maybe because I was born in a tiny village in the Italian Alps, today a very famous ski resort, Bormio. Since few years, I'm dedicating my time, knowledge, and network to help organizations to protect biodiversity and mitigate climate change. My call today, thanks to the important Earth 300 project, is to join forces between the organization rich in knowledge, expertise, and passion, and the private sector to push towards the many solutions available today to protect the life on our planet. Together, we can create the positive results of a long-term sustainable change, able to bring world economies into new scenario where profit and sustainability goes together. Solutions are available, and a continuous long-term investment from the private sector can bring these solutions into action. Spin Ventures, with the platform WOW, Western Wonder, partner in Earth 300, offers the expertise in circular economy and the platform to reduce the impact of plastic, reducing at the same time the impact of CO2 in the atmosphere. Music and sport entertainment, plastic-free, is possible and real. New items, well-designed and with impeccable quality from new raw materials, can be very attractive and be sold to consumers, helping the environment and bringing low impact. Resolve.ngo is over 40 years solid organization based in Washington, D.C. It has the solution to produce a sustainable and natural respective way critical minerals, which are essential for the renewable energy and for the electric cars, as well as gold and diamond, traceable and sustainable, at zero or low impact. Together with Intel, Resolve has created a world-unique micro camera called the TriGuard Wild Eyes, equipped with artificial intelligence, which is the long-awaited technological solution to help to protect the biodiversity and mitigate the climate change. In fact, the same system can help in avoiding the poaching of wildlife, protecting the forest, avoiding the conflict between predators or herbivore and livestock, and at the same time protect against wildfires. Basically, one system for so many issues. The above cases, from the WOW platform to Resolve TriGuard, show clearly that any industry in the private sector can become a true champion in marrying their business activity and the urgent need of a change towards sustainability. Private sector brands have an incredible marketing communication capacity to sell anything and any product. It's time to address this scale towards causes of vital importance and inspire the world.
In today's world, faced with existential problems like climate change, like biodiversity loss, it is really important to adopt an approach that ensures holism and multidisciplinarity. Over the past 4 decades, we've witnessed a lot of environmental challenges, starting with acid rain, air pollution, species extinctions, biodiversity loss, climate change, and most recently COVID-19. And we've dealt with them in a very siloed fashion, where we considered each to be its own problem, rather than symptoms of an underlying bigger problem, which is our relationship with nature. In addition, we've had phases of awareness, where in the beginning, for climate change and biodiversity, for example, we considered them to be environmental problems and dealt with them that way. After that, a second phase saw them appearing as developmental problems with links to the MDGs and the SDGs. Finally, we are now aware, with the latest scientific information, these are existential problems with the potential to challenge our ability to remain on Earth with the type of environment that we have, which we are rendering unhospitable. And as such, we need to transform our worldview, and we need to transform our thinking on how we approach such a problem. It's no longer a matter of plugging holes, it's a matter of dealing with a paradigm shift. And this paradigm shift of worldview has to really be based on three different elements. Number one is a very clear understanding and extension of indigenous values in how we approach the surrounding environment. Indigenous peoples have had harmony with nature over the past centuries and millennia, and have perfected the type of engagement in terms of living with nature, in terms of nourishing nature, rather than just extracting from it. Second, we have to be very cognizant of frontier technologies and the opportunities that they provide, and our need for foresight thinking in looking at the future, not as the present plus a climate signal, for example, but rather as a very different world transformed by technology, and how can we really use these frontier technologies for the benefit of humanity. And third, to dispense with yesterday's methods of dealing with these existential problems. For example, we do not need to make a business case for saving humanity, as if humanity was only worth saving if someone makes a profit. Number two, such concepts as the time value of money, discount rates in cost-benefit analysis, for example, they make it seem like future losses are far less impactful than current gains, and so essentially going against intergenerational equity. So with this change in mindset, with this change in worldview, we would be looking at a future where we have restored our relationship with nature to one that is regenerative rather than extractive, and we would achieve, finally, a situation of permanent resilience for humanity. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, it's great to be part of this Earth 300 initiative. I'm Rishabh Khanna, and I work with Earth Bank as a co-founder and the Chief Impact Officer. I'm many things, actually. I'm a father of a 4-year-old son. I also work as a development economist, a mindfulness instructor, so we believe a lot in yoga, spirituality, breathing, pranayama, and I use all these different tools, especially spirituality, breathing, pranayama, to connect our inner climate and the work we have to do with the outer climate. What I find is so fascinating that we often get stuck with one aspect of life or one speciality, but I think we need all our skills, we need all our creativity to address the climate issue. I also sing in a choir called Voices Without Borders, and we were actively supporting Greta in her movement in Stockholm, and we were here addressing the politicians with the climate strike. So yes, I also believe in the power of music and the power of music to move people's hearts, especially singing in a choir with 200 people. That was really awesome. So at Earth Bank, what we are really doing is trying to address this major issue of investing into the last mile of climate finance, and particularly making it possible to invest in nature-based solutions. We use this satellite AI technology to measure and monitor forest carbon, soil carbon, and that makes it possible for companies to invest in nature-based solutions. But it also can incentivize 500 million small-scale farmers who cannot afford the normal verification, and they now can get paid for carbon, which they never got paid for before. So that what Earth Bank is essentially doing is using the satellite AI technology to incentivize small-scale landowners who can now get paid for the carbon income. You can also join us. You can be part of this great movement, and we are looking forward to work together with Earth 300 and all your corporate partners to work with us to plant 300,000 mangrove trees at the Earth 300 Tiger Climate Park in the Sundarbans. It's a very special place. I've been there many times, and I will be going there again this summer to plant trees in the memory of my grandma who lost her life due to COVID, and many others who lost their lives due to COVID. These mangroves will also be, of course, monitored by our satellite AI technology together with people on the ground who will get paid to look after these trees, who will be employed to do this, but also who are going to enjoy the shelter that these trees provide against fierce hurricanes and storms. So looking forward to be part of this event with you at Earth 300 and looking forward together working with you to scale climate impact.
Hello everybody, I'm Giulio Ceppi, I'm an architect and designer. I'm talking to you from Milan, from the brand new design museum in Milan. And this is just to explain you how in Italian design, interdisciplinary, it's such an important issue, especially if you are talking about sustainability, because for us, there is no distinction between different scale. So a spoon, a city, a car, a boat, it's always part of the same design. And this is exactly the same kind of approach that you need when you talk about sustainability, because sustainability is taking in account, it means different levels, different contribution, different perception, different scale. Sustainability is about lifestyle and is about life cycle. So it's about life. And I believe in this place where I'm one of the three curators, you can understand how it's important to look things from very close as well from far away. And in order to do this, you always have to share your expertise with other people that have knowledge and expertise, a different approach, complementary to yours. And to us, the designer is much more similar to a director, a person that has to keep all this complexity together and try to draw a line and to give a direction in order that you can move, being green, being careful to people, and being open to innovation. And this is part of our DNA, this is part of our history, but it is also something that we want to continue. And that's the reason why for us it's such important to be in contact with different culture, with different know-hows, with different disciplines, because this is a way to nurture creativity and to keep innovation alive and close to people at the same time. So thanks to Earth 300 for this opportunity, because I believe to have something open to different knowledge and disciplines floating on the ocean and looking at the sustainability of our planet, it's really a big issue and a very important challenge. See you soon.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan from the Singapore Space and Technology Limited, Asia's leading space organization, and we cover everything to do with space, from communications, remote sensing, satellite technology, and all the various applications that are useful and impactful to mankind. Space has a very major role in supporting sustainability. Let me name a few examples. Climate change is a hot topic, is an issue that space and satellite technology is used to tackle. Satellite technology today is used to support education efforts, scientific research, and many supporting applications to study and delve into different ways to combat and find solutions to the various climate change issues that plague mankind. Satellite technology has advanced to encompass many different sensors that can pick up different chemical compositions in the atmosphere, allowing us to be more accurate in predicting weather. Extreme weather has been quite a major cause of concern, especially with global warming cases, greenhouse effects, and other increase in noxious gases because of the temperature variations across the globe. Satellite technology also today supports different ways to mitigate disasters that come about because of climate change. We cannot solve everything at one go. We can certainly be more proactive instead of reacting to different catastrophic incidents around the world. Take, for example, how today's satellites are able to provide more accurate mapping, remote sensing, and different environments. In the past, these could be done sporadically, and again, because technology was not as matured as it is today. With the advent and democratization of small satellites, we are able to now conduct faster, quicker, and more responsive studies and responses, providing useful data to our first responders on the ground that allows us to mitigate and solve different disaster and crisis situations quicker and save potentially more lives. In this current COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of discussions surrounds food security and food resiliency. Today, there are many countries, many economies today that suffer because of a lack of access to food, and also because with the current restrictions, border restrictions around the world, many have also gone without access for some time. With remote monitoring capabilities brought about by better equipped satellites, we are able to better monitor crops, provide for more even distribution, and provide new solutions for farming technologies around the world. One example is vertical farming, which was born out of the space program. In space, new technologies needed to be enhanced because of the lack of resources that we have on board pressurized vessels, for example, the space station. We translated these technologies terrestrially, and we diffuse all the learnings on the ground so that today we have farmers that are able to use more advanced technology to study crop management to allow for more efficient growing of crops. This allows for a higher crop yield, allowing more people to have access to food and take us forward in this pandemic. In summary, today with all these capabilities and information, useful information at our fingertips, there's a lot that has been done in the fight towards sustainability, connectivity, enabling us to have a secured future. The Singapore Space and Technology Limited, or SSTL, is proud and very proud to work alongside Earth 300 and their team for a more secure and sustainable future. Thank you.